Welcome back for another episode of Trailer Trash Talk's Hurricane League Fantasy Talk. Think we're going to try something a little bit different today. This is Tuesday immediately following the Week 6 games. Had some interesting endings to some of our Week 6 matchups. The most notable, of course, was Mitchell storming back to overtake Blake. I mean, look, kudos to him for being 6-0. I gotta say, that's about the fucking fakest, cheapest 6-0 I've ever seen, though. But all in all, he is 6-0. Great job, Mitchell. You're always a titan in the regular season. Let's see how that carries into the playoffs this year. With that, let's go ahead and jump right into it. What do you say? Now, I want to start off, great feedback so far. Don't be afraid to scoot a little further up, get in the picture, and, be able to talk into your microphone. We do now have 2 microphones. We're moving into the fucking 19th, 20th century here. So, first of all, anything to say to Blake?
You're still a loser.
Now, where did this loser tag originate from? If I recall correctly, Blake actually has won more championships than you have.
We're not talking about championships. We're talking about this season, right here and now. And according to ESPN, Mitchell, Kmart, Rainman, Mosier, and any other stats we can come up with, Blake, you're a loser. I, unfortunately, due to Emmanuel fucking Sanders not being able to keep his hands to himself, costing my boy a touchdown in the first quarter of this game, and costing me my game, I am also a loser this week. Next week, that will change.
For the record, what's the name of your boy that we're talking about here?
Dawson?
Last name?
Knox.
Position?
Tight end.
Okay. Fair enough.
You want me to name the team?
That's the easiest out of what I mean. All right. So that's a pretty concise message you have there to Blake. Simply loser. That's a strong word. I'm eager to see his response.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be loud.
Speaking of responses, did you read Mitchell's weekly blip of bullshit and self-adoration?
I did, actually. I skimmed that when I was at work earlier. I have to say, I found it quite amusing, mainly for the response it elicited in the chat from Blake in particular. I have to agree with Mitchell. I think he hit a nerve or two.
Since you refused to...
Oh, forgive me for, trying to be comfortable on camera.
We're not here to be comfortable. Yeah, I mean, again, he gives himself credit, as he should, for being 6-0. And again, I say kudos, congratulations. But again, if we're being realistic, that's a fucking fake-ass 6-0. I mean, he's patting himself on the back for his management skills. And, I mean, if we're being honest, his management skills up to this point have been start Derrick Henry, and he's in a pretty good, spot. But again, 6-0 is 6-0, so credit to Mitchell. I do enjoy his colorful charts and all the numbers to the side. I do, to be fair, double check a lot of these numbers because we have seen the reason he's earned the moniker the Kmart Rain Man is because he all but guaranteed you your safety and your taint its safety last season by saying you had zero shot at missing the playoffs.
Yep.
How did that end up for you?
Not good. Not good for me or for my taint. Rather poorly, although it could have been worse. You guys are not going to get hired at any beauty salons anytime soon.
It was our first times. I've never waxed anything before.
It showed.
Yeah, okay, well. What about any thoughts you have on this controversy that's been plaguing the league lately with these trade, no trade vetoes that have been springing up?
Well, as you've said before, traditionally we are a anti-trade league, and I will go ahead and admit to malicious and spiteful vetoing when I see the names of Brian or Blake involved.
And why is that, just for anyone that doesn't remember?
As I've reiterated before, Brian's sharing of players with Blake last season resulted in the aforementioned taint damage I sustained, and I hold a grudge about that. Nick may have got caught in the crossfire there at some point. I think he tried to trade something.
I mean, CBD is wrong. Truth be told, we did Nick a favor by vetoing that trade.
It was a dumb trade.
Even if Nick refuses to see that, we absolutely did him a favor. What about the comments Blake made that claimed that your management skills were complete dog shit, and the victories you have so far are solely due to you riding the Buccaneers' coattails? What do you have to say in response to that?
I will admit to clinging to Tom Brady's jersey to pull me along some. I would also argue that after my dog shit drafting, I've made some pretty decent pickups along the way.
I just want to say that I would like to take partial credit for at least one of those recent pickups, because your dumbass had dropped Kyle Pitts to the waivers, kept a myriad of other tight ends on your roster instead, and I told you I thought that would be a mistake before the year was over. Lo and behold, you picked him up.
Because the two tight ends I kept both got hurt, and Gronk being Gronk, I put him on IR, and I dumped Logan, and
I actually was going to pick him up, yeah, so, and I believe he immediately had like a 19-point game for you.
Yes, yes he did. That was kind of what I was hoping for with Knox this last go-round, but that didn't quite work out for me this time.
Well, luckily you stockpiled tight ends, because I believe Dawson Knox broke his right hand in that game the other night.
It doesn't fucking matter. He was there for a bye. If he was good, that was just a bonus.
Alright, so just to, I guess, follow up to that question, your team this year started out 2-0. Then you lost by 70 points to Brian, 45 points to Mitchell. You came back and beat Jordan by 90 in week 5, and this week you narrowly lost to bring your record to 500. So what is the identity of your team? Where do you see this team at week 9, at week 15, the beginning of the playoffs, and ultimately at week 19, the final week of our fantasy season?
Well, I could brag and wave my penis at the camera and talk about how I'm going to go to the championship, but I'm a little more realistic than that. I don't think that's going to happen unless people do way worse than they have been, which could happen. Some of our best teams don't have great records for some reason right now, so I could totally get in there on a wild card slot.
So you totally, you're 3-3 right now at week 6. What's your record going to be at week 9? That's you're 3-3. Let's add 3 games to it. How do you think that's going to fall?
5-4 probably.
5-4 at week 9. Okay. I like that. Confident, not overconfident. Week 15, start of the playoffs. You going to be in the playoffs or in the shit playoffs?
Oh no, I'm going to the playoffs.
Going to the playoffs. Faux show, he says. And just for fun, where's Blake going to be at week 15?
Can we put a soundbite of a flushing sound in here somewhere?
He's 2-4 right now. Where do you see him being at week 9?
Well, he's 2-4.
Correct.
Well, he's definitely going to be at least 5 because he's got to lose to me at least once before then.
I believe you and him played week 2 or 3. I think you already played him.
Maybe. Well,
I
then
think you narrowly beat him week 2, maybe. Or no, you beat him by like 19 points week 2.
Oh, good. Then we can. Then I can beat him again, and maybe it'll shut him up. I doubt it. He'll probably bitch louder like a dog.
So actually, I believe week 9 would be when you played him the second time.
Yep, he's real excited about that because Tom Brady is on a bye week that week, which means when I beat you, Blake, and I will beat you that week, loser, it's going to make it even sweeter to shut him up about me and Tom Brady's coattails.
You know what? I'll back you up on that one. If you come through week 9 and you're victorious without Brady and the Bradyneers, Mike Evans, Lenny Fournette, potentially Gronkowski if he's back and doesn't have a dislocated hip or whatever the case may be.
Blake is really harping on me riding Tom's coattails and all that. I'm like, I do have a fair number of Buccaneers players on my team. The only 2 worth mentioning are Tom Brady and Leonard Fournette.
And Mike Evans.
He's not had a bad season. He's not had a great season. He got me like 4 fucking points last week.
All right, so that's fair. So week 15, I assume you're seeing him in the shit bracket of the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking, what's that, like 5-9? No, it's probably not that bad. Like,
so he's 2-4 now. I mean, 5-9 would more or less be extrapolating his current win.
5-9, maybe 6-8. He could get lucky somewhere along the way.
Blake, all right, he's calling you at 5-9 or 6-8. All right, and where do you see Blake ending the season, week 18? Did he compete in the shit bowl? Did he avoid the shit bowl? Because you have him in that side of the playoffs.
No. He's going to the shit bowl.
Did he lose?
Well, Brian's not going to help him this year, so probably.
Why don't you think Brian's going to help him this year?
Because this year there's money involved.
Good point. So you absolutely believe that Brian did that on purpose to you, I guess, is what it sounds like.
I'm more sure of that than I am that the sun will rise tomorrow, that the sky is blue, that cops are crooked. Take your pick.
Interesting. Those are also some strong words. All right, so we got cut off there for a minute.
And we're
So,
back.
Mitchell, where do you see Mitchell at week 9? He's somehow fucking 6-0 through 6 weeks. Where do you see him in 3 more?
I hate to do this to him, but I really see him at like 8-1. It could be 7-2 if it goes really bad. I mean, I just don't. Your unlucky streak broke, right?
I mean, it's hard to say because I finally got a win, and then coming into this week, I have 7 out of my 16 players on their bye. So it's gonna be a tough one victory for me this week, but it like I said, I wouldn't say it broke because it's like I said, I'm glad I played Nick when I did ultimately.
All right, so it's still hard times, but you are on the board.
Correct.
Inverse proportions, universal balance, whatever.
That is exactly what I thought was happening. I thought I was going to go to 1-5. Mitchell was going to go to 5-1. Everything was going to start to balance out. Then by week 10, me and Mitchell are going to be tied, and I was going. That's how it was all lining up in my head.
Give the cosmic whatever time to even it out. There's weird stuff going on this season. We've all seen it. Like,
honestly, I think what it could have been was that Blackwell 007 edition Jamaican rum in Jobu's shot glass up there. I'm going to have to let you try some of that. Maybe the next show we do. It is fucking delicious. I'm not a huge rum fan. Found myself last night after my 3rd or 4th one, and dude, I mean, it's so fucking smooth. You drink it and you hardly even realize it, and I got a little more inebriated than what I thought I was last night. Yeah, still lingering a little bit. All right, well, awesome. I guess just to wrap up everything else this week, let's see. You lost to Dusty, close game. I thought that, when we were picking that game, I thought that Dusty was going to win, and then going into the Monday night game, you were only down by, 12 points?
Mm-hmm.
I think I sent you a text congratulating you on what looked like a come-from-behind victory, because I assumed in that matchup he was going to get his 12 points. And I think possibly had he not broken his hand, he actually would have.
If Emmanuel Sanders could have kept his hands to himself, I could have had my 12 points, and he could have still broke his hand, and all would have been okay in my universe.
So just to be clear, you have no care whatsoever about the human being. He doesn't give a fuck that Dawson Knox broke his hand. All he's concerned about was his loss.
Man, of course I feel bad for the guy.
You did say a little bit earlier, I don't care, it was a bye week fill-in.
I had hoped for more from him, but I'm trying to take the big picture approach. I'm sure he's hurt. I feel bad for the guy. I'm sure his NFL money will pay for the best care. He'll heal up faster than I will, that's for sure.
That is what we know about the NFL. They take care of the health of their players and former players.
No, they don't. Just the younger ones. They keep them healthy enough to make money. This guy's a rising star. They're going to want him back in the game.
Potentially. Let's see. Mitchell came, dashed from behind and beat Blake, of course. Stunning game there. Derrick Henry's a beast. Skeptical he can keep that up through 16 weeks, though. And if he does not, Mitchell, I think, will be up a creek. His team is not bad, but it is certainly resting on Derrick Henry's broad, fucking fast shoulders.
Has Tennessee had their bye week yet?
They have not.
Mitchell, potential bet for you.
Bro, potential bet. Are you throwing this out there, or...
I am indeed throwing this out there.
Alright, let's go.
Say, They're saying that your team is resting solely on Derrick Henry's. I have a $20 says you lose Derrick Henry's bye week.
So you're spending all kinds of dollars being thrown around so far this season. We're only in week 6, or week 7 rather. So you are proposing a bet to Mitchell. Justin is suggesting, without looking at anything, he has no data in front of him, $20 that you lose in Derrick Henry's bye week. All right, so let's see his response to that. Brian came from behind and beat Jordan, and
I'm sorry to say that wasn't very surprising.
Well,
I'm sorry, Jordan.
Had it not been for another rash of injuries to Jordan's team and his wide receivers just grossly underperforming, he had a legitimate, better than decent chance of winning that game. I mean, he had, Lockett, who was counting on Geno Smith to get him the ball. I think he got him a whopping like 3 or 4 points. And Chase Claypool from Pittsburgh, who didn't have a huge game. I think he maybe gave him like 6 points or some shit like that. But like I said, the injuries have been real for Jordan. He also cut A.J. Brown earlier in the year, although that he hasn't necessarily regretted that so far, because I picked up A.J. Brown. He's done nothing to speak of. But yeah, his team's hurt. It'll be interesting to see if it gets back to health, and if it does, what kind of shape he'll be in at that point. Biggest problem for him was the drafting of Saquon Barkley. I mean, you can make the argument that potential value, he almost had to take him there, but I mean, he's an injury waiting to happen. You can't blame him for the fucking ankle injury. I was talking to Mitchell about it. I don't know if you saw the pictures, but I mean, his ankle looked like a water balloon was inside of it. It was fucking bad. But I mean, yeah, it seems like for whatever reason, since his rookie season, I think he actually was injured part of his rookie season. But I mean, he's always hurt. So yeah, Jordan's team, if we look at it, Saquon Barkley is his first rounder. He's probably done for the year. Kelsey is his second rounder. That's been his one saving grace, his one consistent player. A.J. Brown, he cut in like week 3 or 4. But A.J. Brown hasn't done anything so far. Clyde Edwards-Helaire in round 4, who also was injured in week 5 and has been underwhelming. James Robinson, who has done well for him. Tyler Lockett, who's been lackluster, followed by Russell Wilson, who, guess what, is injured. He's on the IR.
Broke that thumb.
And that's as far down as I can see on the chart. But I mean, out of his first 7 picks, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that are injured. I mean, that's fucking tough. Sorry about that, Jordan. Hopefully you can turn it around. Thankfully,
Just in time to beat Blake in the shit bowl.
Oh, so Justin's calling his shot now that it's going to be Jordan and Blake in the shit bowl. Tell you what, there is an overwhelming amount of confidence coming from a guy right here that just lost and has had beatdowns of 70 and 45 points already this season. I like the confidence you're exuding here.
Man.
I hate to shatter it this week whenever you get beat by a team that has none of its starters playing because of injuries and buys, but you know, I think you're still going to rebound from 3 and 4. I mean, you could still have the type of fairy tale season you're dreaming of at 3 and 4 through 7 games. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess that's all there. I'm gonna have to clean up some of the end of this somehow. This is
Yeah, this is
dead air.
rather long.
I mean, It's still less than 30 minutes so far.
That's pretty good for us.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the show. Be back again at some point this week.
Like, subscribe, send money.
You do all those things. I will at some point be posting a new link to a new channel because I thought this one would be shut down by now, honestly. But it could be tomorrow. It might have been the 20th. I want to say it was October 20-something. I don't know. We're going to see.
We'll find out.
We will
Please
find out.
follow us to wherever we go.
Yep. All right. Well, we love you. To all the members of our league, good luck this week. Suck my dick.